Morning, everybody. 8:15 a.m. It's July 25th. Market took a little break yesterday, kind of like balanced, right? Tried to go lower in the Nasdaq, couldn't. Yeah, ES was strong yesterday. Overall breadth of the market is strong. So, tech's just having a little bit of a pullback. That's all right. Rebalance happened. Didn't really do much. Um, we'll get into some news. We got earnings today. We got Microsoft and Alphabet reporting after the close. What's up, Chief? Um, what else here? Let's see here. Let's just get into the introduction real quick. My name's Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. We use volume profile, market profile to see the structure of the market and try to be on the right side, right? Without being biased. Flow like water, right? You want to flow like water, so you have these big levels that we look at. You look for confluence. We also look at supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, and try to come up with scenarios in the market, right? And try to be on the right side of them, right? On the right side of those trades. That's the important part, right? Because price action can always fool you, right? What I like to do with price action is make it prove to me, and this didn't come easy, but over time it does come easy. Yesterday, I talked about it pre-market, right? In the Nasdaq, I said you got a weak low, you got a bracket, got a support level. I said it's probably going to fill the gap. It did. We'll get into it later, but it did. Then it couldn't go lower, right? Sellers could not make it go lower. So then we went higher, right? So the market told us this is as low as you're going, right? So those are the types of things maybe I would have shorted that in the past. I would have been like, ooh, tech's weak, rebalance, right? But you got to look at the market a different way. Okay, you need the market to prove to you certain things, right? So enough of that. Um, Subscribe if you haven't already. Set an alert. That would do me good. Always give me a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. And Twitter right now is probably the best follow. Gonzo719. All right. I've actually, full disclosure, I've had pretty good trades, bunch of trades in a row. I just with this job, I haven't been able to really make reels on these trades, and I'm gonna try to do some, but then my levels change, and gonna try to put something together because there's a theme to these trades that I've had of recent that have been pretty nice trades. So I'll try to get into that, but if I don't, I don't, just because I was on vacation and all this stuff. But important part is what I talk about here drives my trades. So we'll get into that. Okay, let's get into the watch list. Okay, let's move over. Hey, Chief, are you a listener today or a watcher today? I'm gonna guess she's a listener. She's also watching Kava. She's a listener. Okay. She's watching Kava. I'm loving Baba. Got a portfolio position on Baba last week, and that's paying off very nicely. Um, so let's see here. Let's go to the watch list. Let's see what we have going on here. All right. So silver, that's the more volatile metal. It's almost up 1%. The VIX is up 0.86. Nasdaq up 0.31. Ether's up 0.16. The dollar is basically flat, but it's up slightly. ES is basically flat. Crude is flat. The Dow is at 0%. That's flat. Gold is pretty much flat. Bitcoin's flat. It's under 30K. It's down to 29.09 Bitcoin 0. So Bitcoin underneath 30K. Russell flat, only down 0.06. 30-year bonds are being sold. Should push the TNX up, which it did. So TNX is up 0.86, up to 3.89. So those yields are still pretty decently high. So bond market and stock market not on the same page yet, right? All right. Let's get into some stocks. The stocks I like to day trade here. Boom. Oh yeah, liking to see that. BABA is up 1.57%. It looks like China is going to get behind with some stimulus there for that economy that's been lagging a little bit after the pandemic. It started skyrocketing some of these China stocks. Honestly, I bought it on a pullback last week for my portfolio investment, and I said, you know what? What's undervalued, right? That I can take a stab at. Right? Obviously, the all-time highs are something in the 300s, and it's at 90. It was at 92 something, I think, when I bought some. And I did not know that China was going to do that, so that helped me out. But now we're looking at 100. So, and Bob is a little wild because it can gap up and gap down every morning sometimes. So, loving the gap up. Okay. Meta got an upgrade. Okay. Meta got an upgrade today. It's up 1.32%. Meta reports tomorrow after the close. Okay. Tesla's up 1.08%. Been beaten down a little bit. Where are we at now? 271. All right. So pay attention. Tesla needs to stay over 270, 275. I will be interested there. Okay. Snow is getting love, up 0.92. Then we got Nvidia up 0.89. So Nasdaq's getting some technology. Semi's getting some love. Okay. So like I said, Rosita Datadog got an upgrade. Datadog got an upgrade. So here's the upgrades. Just to, I'll go get these upgrades that I'm going to say next apply to the next list. Now let's look if there's any laggards today. Really not. Really not. Pay attention to this, okay? I have two levels you want to pay attention to. So Nvidia, okay? I'm interested in doing something in Nvidia long over 450. Okay? That's a very important level in Nvidia. Okay? That's a gamma flip point. So pay attention if Nvidia can hold 450. All right? Very important level in Nvidia. Now, Netflix. Netflix has gotten beaten down, right? Now, Netflix has a very, very important level. It's a gamma flip point level at 430. I am interested if Netflix can hold 430. Okay, this might be a swing play. Now, of course, we got FOMC tomorrow. Okay, but Netflix already reported. So, probably a day trade, but 430. Okay, remember those levels. Very, very, very important. If you're gonna wait for the extra clear for I'm sorry, Netflix, 440. You want to break 440 and hold it. Okay. Moving on. Top sector stocks. Okay. I'm also a proud owner of Walmart, so I'm loving to see this. Walmart got an upgrade. All right. I saw that the Walmart got an upgrade because the grocery portion of their market, they're getting more and more of the grocery part of the market share. Okay. Now, what else do we have here? Roblox up 0.76. that's really it for that. Right now, let's go to laggards. Now we got Johnson & Johnson's been on a little bit of a run, also a proud owner. Okay, Johnson & Johnson, okay. Now, look at the laggards. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs got a downgrade by Citibank. Okay, they got a downgrade. That's why they're down. Disney also got a downgrade. So Disney is down 1.12%. That is one stock that you can look at it and say that's undervalued. But it's just not doing anything. It's just, and they're looking to partner up with some of the NBA, NHL, and then for them to have a stake in the company. So, very interesting. I know some people like it at that level, and it is probably at a good point, but it needs something. And the strike isn't helping with the SAG. Okay. All right. So I mentioned all the upgrades and the downgrades. I mentioned the levels that I said that Netflix and Nvidia that I'm watching. Okay. Tesla. Let's see. Tesla. Yeah, like I said, really important is to hold over 270. Okay. Then you want to see it hold 275. Now, look, if you're aggressive, you wait for it to hold 270. If you're conservative, you wait for it to hold 275. And then you got last month's highs at 276.99, 277. So it, we'll see, right? You have to see with that. Those are just certain levels. All right, let's move on to the sectors. All right, so leading the pack, semiconductors. Okay, followed by communications. That's Meta. Obviously, semis, Nvidia, AMD. All right, now basic materials. That's interesting, right? But technology. That's also Nvidia. That's also AMD. That's Microsoft. That's Apple. Right? And then we go to the laggards, which would be healthcare, which is going to be the Johnson & Johnson. A little bit of weakness there. Okay. Now, let's move over to some news. I already talked about some. But there's not really any kind of data dropping today. Economic calendar. All right. But we can go over to, let's look at earnings. Okay. So, Verizon reported better than expected earnings today. Okay. GM and General Electric both had good earnings. Okay. Nextera Energy, I'm also a proud owner of that. That had good earnings. Okay. Now today, big ones, big ones. Microsoft and Apple report after the close. Also, Visa, Teladoc, Texas Instruments. Okay. So those report after the close. That should cause some volatility. Microsoft and Google. Okay. So that's what's on chat for today. Let's look at some results. So General Motors stock rose 2% after the auto giant lifted full year profit guidance, in large part because it plans to invest less in new products and cut operating costs by additional $1 billion. Very good. General Electric stock rose 3.8% after the industrial conglomerate raised the full adjusted profit forecast, betting on the steady demand for aircraft engine spare parts and the services from airlines looking to cash into a surging air travel. Verizon stock rose 3.1% after the telecom giant posted a surprise rise in wireless subscriber additions as more users upgraded their mobile phones to access its 5G network. And then there you go, the Goldman Sachs. There you go, the Walmart. Stock rose 1.1% after Piper Sandler upgraded its stance on the retail giant to overweight from neutral, saying it can rally more than 30% as it gains grocery market share. That's pretty much what I want to talk about there. Let me see if something dropped that I can also look at. That did not drop. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. All right, that's probably it for the news. We're going to go straight into the daily chart. All right, let's look at those daily charts. Now we are on the eve of earnings, big earnings today, right? After the close. We are on the eve of FOMC tomorrow. So FOMC tomorrow, expecting a 25-point basis rate hike. Okay, I think it's like 98% already. So this is expected. This is no surprise if it happens. Okay. Let's look at the SPY. Okay. Let's zoom into this move. All right. Now we're kind of just balancing here. Okay. So we have a low here called 452. Okay. Now you could do a Fibonacci here from this candle here to here, and you can see that we only pulled back the 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is a pretty healthy, it's a nice pullback, but it's a bullish pullback, right? You haven't violated the 50% Fibonacci. If you want to go back to this move even farther to here, it's even a shallower pullback, right? So still haven't touched the 8 EMA daily. So we're just kind of bouncing here. We're in a range, right? Let's look at the weeklies. One time framing, higher low, right? So the weeklies kind of in the middle of last week. Monthlies very bullish. I got resistance at 458, right? Let's look at that profile. You can see we're building out volume. See this? 443, most traded price at the SPY over the last month. We are set to probably take that over at 453, which would eventually mean this is last week's most traded price. This is this week's most traded price. That's going to be ultimate balance, right? That would just mean a huge move is coming, right in line for the FOMC. Now, today, if we balance here today, you're going to get that ultimate balance for FOMC, and we're going to get a huge move. You get a huge move anyway with FOMC, but this could make the move more exaggerated. Okay. Move over to Qs. Now, Qs, I have the fib on there. Okay. Let's look at the Qs. So here's the Qs. Right from this move, this swing low, right up here. Now check this, what happened yesterday. You had this candle hit 50% Fibonacci. This candle hit 50% Fibonacci. This is where sellers kind of got trapped a little bit. I talked about this in futures. I say because it pierced the 50% Fibonacci, had some excess, and got bought up. Okay, so the market told us it's not going higher. Sellers could not take us lower. So where are we now? 377.35. So 377.35 is at yesterday's highs. Okay, so very important, very, very important. Okay, that's the Qs. Let's look at this in a weekly. Weekly, like I said, keep the eye on 372. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that for now. Monthly, I mean, we really don't have a nice level until the all-time highs. It's almost as a resistance, right? Now we got a pullback here. This is last month's highs, so we're holding that level. Okay, so that's the Qs. Let's move over to the Dow. Dow had a nice day yesterday. Let's zoom in. Everybody, I'm going to have to be back real quick. I'm going to shut down the stream and come back. I just got something from my daughter's daycare, so I have to take care of. I will be right back in probably about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm sorry about that. Sorry if you're, I'm going to have to cut this stream for a sec. I'll be back though.